I remember the day I left the lab, the day I finally turned my back on a world that had betrayed me. It wasn't just about the failed experiment or the false accusations. That was just the final blow. No, it was the look in their eyes, the way they whispered behind my back, the way my own family, the people I loved most, called me a fool, an embarrassment, a dreamer who'd never amount to anything. They told me I was wasting my life, chasing some ridiculous fantasy, biometallic plants. They scoffed, said I was deluded, that I'd never succeed, that I'd be nothing but a failure, a laughingstock. And for a moment, I almost believed them. But I didn't. I couldn't. Because deep inside, I knew this wasn't just some wild idea. It was my purpose. It was the one thing that made my heart beat faster, that pushed me through endless nights of doubt, that kept me going when everything else crumbled. So I abandoned the safe, predictable path, the one my family wanted me to walk, and I dove headfirst into the uncharted, into the impossible. The first years were brutal. I was mocked by skeptics, dismissed by scientists who called my work science fiction, and ridiculed by the very people I once called family. My father told me I was playing with fire. My mother begged me to give it up, telling me I'd end up with nothing but broken dreams. But I pressed on. Fueled by a stubbornness that refused to die, I poured every ounce of my soul into my research, blending biology and metallurgy, trying to create plants that could withstand harsh climates, purify polluted soils, and even serve as living infrastructure. It wasn't easy. Every setback felt like a personal assault. Every failed attempt was met with more derision. But I kept going. I studied, experimented, failed, and learned, until one day I cracked it. The biometallic plant. It was more than I'd ever hoped for. A living organism with metallic roots and resilient leaves capable of thriving where nothing else can survive. It was a miracle, and it was real. And the world took notice. My work revolutionized sustainable infrastructure, turning barren wastelands into lush, thriving ecosystems. Cities began to incorporate my plants into their buildings, their roads, their rooftops. I built a company, a movement, and slowly I proved everyone wrong. I proved that persistence and faith in your vision can shatter even the most entrenched doubts. But the greatest victory wasn't the accolades or the breakthroughs. It was returning home, finally to face my family, to show them what I had become, to share with them the life I built from nothing but a crazy idea and relentless perseverance. It was a bright summer day when I drove back into the town I'd left behind. The streets looked the same, familiar yet distant. I parked outside the house where I grew up, heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. I stepped out, my new biometallic plants shimmering subtly in the sunlight, a living testament to everything I'd fought for. Their faces appeared at the window as I approached. My family, hands trembling, eyes wide, faces etched with disbelief. I could see the doubt, the skepticism. They hadn't changed. Not yet. I knocked. My father opened the door. His face a mask of surprise and something else, confusion. When he saw me, his jaw tightened, and I could see the flicker of old judgments reigniting. "Dad," I began, voice steady but kind, "I'm here to show you something." I led him outside. The yard had been transformed into a vibrant, flourishing landscape. Towering biometallic trees shimmered with iridescent leaves, their roots anchored in the ground like steel cables, yet their leaves fluttered like paper-thin wings. The soil was rich and dark, teeming with life birds, insects, flourishing plants, all thriving where once there was only dust and decay. My mother's eyes welled up with tears. My sister gasped softly, stepping closer. "Do you see?" I asked softly. "This is what your doubts almost kept me from showing you. This is what I've built, what I've become. They looked silent, stunned. The silence stretched like a heavy fog. Then my father, voice cracking, finally spoke. You actually did it? Yes, I said, a quiet pride swelling in my chest. All the ridicule, all the years of mockery, they didn't see the vision. But I did, and I proved that even the wildest dreams can become reality if you refuse to give up. Their faces softened, a flicker of recognition, a hint of regret. They saw the thriving life before them, the impossible made real. In that moment, I felt something shift inside them, and inside me. The years of pain, the betrayal, the loneliness, they all faded into the background. What remained was pure, unshakable truth, that perseverance, faith, and an unwavering belief in oneself can turn even the most dismissed ideas into monumental triumphs. As I watched their eyes trace the shimmering leaves of my biometallic trees, I realized something profound. The greatest betrayal isn't just the hurt others inflict. It's the doubt we carry about ourselves. But that doubt can be shattered, brick by brick, with resilience and purpose. I turned back to my family, smiling, not just for me, but for all the dreamers out there who are told they're crazy. Because I know now that the world's judgments don't define us. Our actions do. Our perseverance does. And this is the real proof that dreams, no matter how ridiculous they seem at first, can change the world, starting with us, starting with a single act of stubborn hope. I left that day knowing I had finally come home, not just to the place, but to myself. And I carry that victory in my heart forever.